one of the driest years in our county, and I cut hay 2 days ago, and last night we got 2 inches of rain. So I was really worried that it was going to ruin this hay crop, but we've had a beautiful day today. It's been about 75 degrees and windy, and so it's dried it out, so I'm getting ready to rake it. It's been sunny all day. The top is dry, but if you flip this over, it's still a little wet underneath. So actually I think if I just flip this over, rake it, let it dry out, it'll actually be ready to cut here in a day or so. So that's really wet underneath there. We'll just flip it like this and let that hay dry out, let the grass dry out, and we should be able to save it even for our horses. I've never pulled this rake with a four-wheeler before, but it's actually pulling really easy and doing quite well, but we're going to end up with quite a bit of hay. So there's some phrases that you hear, and until you actually do the work or experience it, you don't really understand it. So one of the phrases I've always heard is the hay is in the barn. And if you've not heard that, it's usually a sports term, like the coach before a big game will say the hay is in the barn, meaning the work is done, the preparation's done. So I'm getting ready to unload about 150 bales into my new little hay barn here that I built. So this has been a struggle to get this cut. It's been a dry year. Hay crop's not been good this year, but I did get this cut. It's the driest year in like 130 years almost this year, and I cut this, and then the next night 2 inches of rain fell. I'm going to unload this into there, call it a good work. My little truck can pull this load of 150 bales up the hill also. So the hay is going to be in the barn here shortly, which means the work is going to be completed. Here's a little hay barn that we built, and now Hyla wants it to be a horse stall also. And so make hay when the sun shines, get it done while the weather's good, so we're trying. Here's another phrase, hay is for the horses. And I can't get these guys out of my way right now. Here's something that I read about for hay that's wet or has gotten wet. This I actually think is good. I did some other stuff, but throw a little salt in between the layers. Supposedly it helps cure the hay, prevent it from molding if it's wet. So we'll just toss that on there as we stack it up every layer. And Thunder's in the way here again. I took a little break. Got about half done. So I don't know how many bales are in here, but I'm getting a good start. I took a break, and Shadow decides to keep eating. All this hay on the ground that I'm dropping, but of course he wants it from the bales. So we got all the bales moved. Right when I was finishing up, Niall showed up like a splinter, showing up when the work is done. So we got it moved, tarp up here until I get the rest of the steel here, and got a good jag of hay bales, as my dad would say. He always said jag of wood. So the hay is in the barn. Make hay when the sun shines, and hay is for the horses. Just brought a new appreciation too for the guys that actually do this for a living. So kudos to all you farmers out there. I don't think people in the real world and the rest of the world really know how hard you guys work. I just do this as a hobby, so I get to enjoy the fun part of it. But guys that do this hay stuff and crops and depend on the weather, gosh, it's stressful. So thanks for feeding us. I appreciate you. But